Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order for the Committee of the Whole meeting of the Board of Education, September 3rd, 2025, at 6:30 PM in the boardroom of the Administration Building at 70 Conover Road, Colts Neck, New Jersey. If I could have a roll call, please.
Yes, you may. Mrs. Camera,
Here.
Mrs. Horowitz,
Here.
Mr. Rico, Mrs. Ramirez, Mr. Rignetta, Mr. Scales,
Here.
Mr. Scarpa.
Yes, here.
Mrs. Volpe,
Here.
Mr. Walsh.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, this meeting has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press in a schedule of meetings dated January 16th, 2025, and March 4th, 2025, notice of which has been filed with the Deputy Clerk for Colts Neck Township, and the requirements of posting of notices have been met. If everybody can please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, just gonna recognize Mr. Arico arriving. All right. Okay, let's move on. We have no information items this evening. I'm gonna open the floor to public comment at this time. If anybody would like to get up and make a comment or have a question, you could do so at this time. Please say your name and address for the record. Would you like to, yeah, come up.
Before that, should we read the mission statement?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Sorry.
Yes, Ms. Ryan, can you hold on 1 minute? I skipped over the mission statement.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian, thank you very much.
The mission of the Colts Neck Township Schools is to empower and inspire students to be confident, creative, self-sufficient learners who maximize their strengths and talents and contribute as responsible participants in an ever-expanding world.
Great, thank you so much, Brian. Okay, sorry, Mr. Ryan, that was my error. Please come on up.
Alan Ryan, 24 Ann Street. That was just great. I love it. The national anthem, man, that's just sends me flying. I'm here tonight. I contacted Phyllis Camera, Dr. Garibay, Angelique Volpe, and Kevin Walsh, and we all had conversation. And I'm here about the Tunnels to Tower, the 9/11 program that they offer. And I know that there was an email back in August, on August 19th, and I realized that it's late in the game as far as anything for this 9/11 and all that, but I really would love to see the program in here and let these kids know what went on that day, the sacrifice that all those people made. And I want them to know, because it's important to know where we were and where we're going. all this stuff about wanting to take statues and all that down, not to get into a political thing or anything like that. What are you taking it down for? We should know. You know, if somebody had a slave or something, that's all right. We deal with it, but they should know, and it shouldn't be erased from history. And I don't want these kids, anything being erased. And it disturbed me, to be perfectly honest with you. I was talking to a couple of my nephews, and I was asking about some dates and all that, and I'm just like, really? You didn't know when VJ Day was? VE Day? Then I knew this one little girl, the grandmother of somebody in town, and the granddaughter of somebody in town. And I said, hey, you know what December 7th is? She didn't know what December 7th was. So I want these kids to know what's going on in the world, what they need to know to understand the history, and understand and appreciate how great this country is and how great the opportunities are for them, that these people fought for, that the people fought for them, all right, those people that day on 9/11 alone, the sacrifices, the stories are incredible. I mean, if it doesn't bring a lump to your throat and a tear in your eye, I mean, it's incredible. I'm wearing one of the shirts, firefighter Timothy McSweeney. He was with 3 Truck, and their captain was legendary, Patty Brown. And he made this really amazing rescue. And he was there, and he got up to the North Tower, the 38th floor, and he called the fire dispatch because the radio was off. They couldn't dispatch. And he says, this is Captain Brown. I'm on the 38th floor, North Tower. There's many injured, but send it down. And they continued up. And then I just found out recently that they were on the 42nd floor or 44th floor. They were told to evacuate. And he said no. All those guys went down with that tower. And all those people, that's the sacrifice. And these were all fathers. This guy has 3 kids. 3 kids. They're grown now, but nonetheless or whatever. That's what we got to make sure that they understand, the sacrifice of that day. And even in this town, I had 2 kids in my CCD classes that had direct hits, one a father and one an uncle. 2 out of 8, a direct hit from that 9/11. And I just saw one of them, and he's doing well, but you know, it's still something that's there. And never forget. And that's what I want to make sure, because I always say that, never forget, never. The sacrifice made by our service people that day, these kids got to know. And I understand, and I fully understand the parents wanting to watch what the kids get as far as information, because, you know, you don't want to be, but bring them along. And this is a smart community. And thank God for this community and this board, because I know that it will be brought along the right way, where your people are not going to be stuffing stuff down these kids' throats and all that. They're going to, you know, be afraid or anything or turned off. You know, you don't want to overdo it, but you just want to make sure that they understand, and then they can go and they can figure it out themselves. That's what it's all about. And any help that I can be on that or whatever, all right. Jim Safer and his wife, Kathy. Kathy had a brother that died on that day. And whatever I can do, and the fire department definitely wants to be involved. I spoke to EFC last week, and we want to get them involved. And whatever you're going to do. And I understand that things take a bit of time to get there, and 9/11's a week away. So, you know, I mean, nothing's going to happen now because they're preparing for 24. And can't believe I said that, 24. And that's it. So, you know, any help, I want to see it. I know you guys are going to do the right thing. I know these kids will appreciate it. And last year when I was at Cedar Drive, one of the girls that spoke, her father was a retired FDNY. Mm-hmm. And she stood up there so, I'm sorry, so classy. I don't know what the father saw. I don't know the dad. And she held herself up real good. And she was a real credit to the father. I mean, he survived and all that, but nonetheless, or whatever, you know, just, but what class? Little girl, you know, 12, 13, but nonetheless, you know, that's something. And that's something we brought to the table. So I thank you for listening. I thank you for the time. If you need anything, we'll be in touch and everything, the whole bit. So do you have any idea how long this process could be or whatever? Or?
Yeah, I'll have her address you, and then when she's finished, I'd like to address you as well.
So with regard to time after our 14th, Mrs. Cameron and I spoke, we have 40 copies of each one of the resources from the Tunnel to Towers that were delivered, paid for, and they're in hand in the district. We've shared the free curriculum with our district as well for a resource for this September 11th. I've been in conversation and communication with Edith from Tunnel to Towers, and we are coordinating a speaker that will likely take place in November of this year as a follow-up to our existing ceremonies. That said, Mrs. Kemmer referenced in the spring that the Department of Education put a series of free trainings together for the 9/11 Museum.
Nice.
And they were all free resources that were through that. And so a team of social studies teachers, Dr. Reynolds, participated in that training, and they have a whole day of activities at Cedar Drive
Oh,
planned.
that's great.
Of the videos and whatnot, as well as the morning flag salute that we've done as a school-wide meeting
Nice.
for
All
many
right,
years.
please
So I know that
include-
Dr.
please
Rigby
include- please,
is
and
going to
I'll
be
get some of the
contacted.
firemen there and everything
Yes.
too.
But the other thing to share is that we don't just reserve that for Cedar Drive. We, of course, infuse it chronologically appropriate and sensitive to the
gotcha.
age development of
Gotcha.
children. And for years, we've done highlighted books, like, for example, at primary school. I have the list. We've done, the one that really went over was The Very Tree. This Very Tree was a story of 9/11, resilience and regrowth. This year, they're going to be doing 3,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the national 9/11 flag. Or Fireboat, which is the heroic adventure of the John J. Harvey, of John J. Harvey story, excuse me. So I think that, those are things that we always do and reserve on that day. We
great,
have
yeah.
a school-wide, red, white, and blue, district-wide red, white, and blue
No,
day.
you guys do the right thing.
So
You guys have done the right thing, there's no
Yes.
doubt about it. It's just expanding now.
Yep, so
and
now-
making sure that these kids understand
Yeah.
and they know.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you that any of these guys, I was just talking to my son and I was saying, Aaron Judge, he's up there and he's hitting home runs. He's not a hero, and he knows he's not a hero, and he knows, and he doesn't even consider himself a hero because he's hitting baseballs. These guys were taking people out, whatever. They're putting a gun on their shoulder and they're getting rid of people that do not have good intention for us.
Sure.
Without getting too crazy.
We even have a staff member who highlights that shares her experiences as someone who participates in the Tunnel to Tower run each year.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
And
wonderful.
that's at Cedar Drive. So we
All right, that's all
we
I have.
certainly embrace everything and all the resources that can come our way to expand the
Whatever
opportunities.
help I can be or whatever, I want to
Thank
be
you.
there or whatever. I want to make sure that that everybody knows because it's important. We can never forget the sacrifice ever. And coming up to the 250 and that flag, all the people that went for that,
Sure,
but before that, it's important. So thank you.
of course.
Everybody enjoy the rest.
Mr. Ryan, before you go, I just want to address you as well. First off, I commend your passion and unwavering dedication to continue remembering 9/11. I can rest assure you, every single board member that's seated now shares your passion. I also want to thank you for sharing Captain Brown and Mr. Sweeney's brave efforts that day, and I certainly will remember them on 9/11. I also want to, thank Mrs. Camera and Dr. Garibay. I know, it's been your mission. These are some of the books that we are hopefully going to incorporate. Just so you know, Phyllis says we are. So if you want to, during our meeting, take a look at these. I just want to let you know that we are definitely, serious about, continuing.
There's no doubt about your serious. I
Okay.
just want to just
Yeah.
they're headed in the right direction, and I don't want to.
Yep.
I don't want to see any of these kids scared by anything, but I want them to realize.
No, I'm sure the district, we will always use appropriate measures when teaching this. I know my daughter and, Phyllis's kids being of the older, students, they are well aware of what happened. Me and Kevin make sure that, we instill everything, the bravery and loss of that day. But I just want to let you know, these are the books. You're welcome to come up while you're here to look at them. And, yep, no problem at all. So, and just for the record, all that you said about the, history and taking down statues, this board certainly doesn't, support any removal of any history content, and that will never happen here, so, but, yep, so here, if you want to look through these, and then return them to Phyllis, because she's going to go over them. Okay, all right, good
Right.
enough.
And I just want to let you know that I'm glad you're staying, because in my curriculum update, I don't want to be redundant. I'm going to go into a lot of the information that you were just asking about in more detail.
All
So
right.
one other point. First of all, thank you very much for participating tonight. The program is excellent. As you know, the Tunnels to Towers is incredible. The JROTC program goes on an annual basis to support this. It's nothing short of remarkable. I participated in the past 2 years. So watching these young cadets support the runners there is remarkable. And believe it or not, it touches home. A former board member was Joe Camerata. His brother is Michael Camerata, was Michael Camerata. He was the youngest FDNY to pass away in 9/11. So there you go. Yeah, it resonates well with the sport, and we're going to look to work with the JROTC program as well to expand their efforts to our school district over here. So more to come. But thank you very much for your voice and support of the school district.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. I just want to recognize Mr. Regnetta. He's been here for a while, but I just want everybody to know he has arrived. Okay, we are going to close public comment at this time, the first public comment of the evening, and I'd like to get a motion to approve the action items for approval. If I could get a motion to do that now.
Motion?
Okay, any questions or comments? There's quite a few of those tonight. Anybody have questions or comments about any of that? All right, moving on, we'll get a roll call for those items. 1 through 6, I'm sorry.
Yes, okay. Action items 1 through 6. Mrs. Camera.
Yes.
Thank you. Mrs. Horowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Arico.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Regnetta.
Number 4 must recuse my employment, but yes to all the rest.
Thank you. Mr. Scales.
No to number 4, yes to everything else.
Thank you. Mr. Scarpa.
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe.
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion did carry.
Okay, great. Moving on. No communications. We're going to go right into our board liaison reports. Once again, since the school year hasn't started yet, I can't see much of reports tonight. So if Sarah Horowitz wants to start with the Parent Advisory Committee.
So I have no report at this time.
All right, that's fine. Anything going on with the PTO?
Yes, they're having their member drive right now, so please make sure you sign up for the PTO so you're aware of all their great activities and events that they email about weekly. Back to school night is the 9th for the primary, 10th for elementary, and 16th for the middle school. The PTO will be there as well. And trunk or treat, it's crazy, it's already discussing October, but that will be October 25th. That's it.
Great, that sounds like fun. Okay, moving on to the Colts Neck Township Schools newsletter, Mrs. Camera.
No updates since last week.
All right, moving right into the school arts, sports, extracurricular activities, Mr. Regnetta.
Again, no updates with me since last week. Just want to wish everyone luck who's starting soccer this Saturday, all the pre-K through 8th grade. Good luck, everyone. Have
Can I add
fun.
one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yep.
that this Sunday, September 7th, the Colts Neck Business Association is holding its 2025 Polo Classic. It's at 2 p.m. at Buck Mills Community Park in the upper field.
Okay, great. Anything else from either? Nothing? Okay. Moving into the Colts Neck Township Committee liaisons, Mr. Scarpa and Mrs. Camera.
No updates, and I just encourage if anyone's interested, they could go back to last meeting, and it was a very lengthy report.
Great. Anything? Yep. Okay. Moving on to the Colts Neck Township Planning Board and Subcommittee, Mr. Scales and Mr. Walsh.
Nothing to report on my end.
All right. Nothing? Yep.
However, you did have an invitation from the Township Committee for planning for affordable housing, I believe.
Yes. Oh, okay, yes. During the welcome, I briefly spoke to Mrs. Buss. She's going to be reaching out to, have a meeting with me. More than likely going to appoint the two liaisons, Mr. Scales and Mr. Walsh, either to attend with me or represent me. Okay. I'll let you know as soon as I find out.
Thank you.
Moving on to the Colts Neck Township Senior Centers, Mr. Walsh.
No report, no updates since last week.
Okay, great. Naval Weapons Station Earl, Mr. Scarpa.
Yeah, actually, mine was a question for Dr. Garabay. Do we have any update on the potential field trip, or not yet at this stage?
I think we had that framework that we shared in the spring that we're looking to possibly do something in the spring of next year. Yeah. And we're just waiting on, I think I have an email to you for some potential dates in October that were floated out. So I'll resend that for you and Mrs. Ramirez if you were still interested in touring. For a tour. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay, moving right into my report for the State and County School Boards Association. The agenda for the workshop, the October workshop, is now available online. There's only 2 weeks left to reserve a hotel, just so everybody's aware. Tuesday, October 7th, is the first meeting of the 2025-26 school year. The Monmouth County School Board Association is having their hybrid meeting. They're welcoming all school board members to join them for the AI K through 12 seminar, which will cover how schools are handling the AI. And that will be held at 6 p.m. at the Renaissance in Ocean Township. There is a virtual option as well. They reached out to me. I'm planning to attend, but it's so far out, I'm not sure if I will, but I will keep everybody posted on that. That concludes that report. We are going to start the committee of a whole work session at this time. We're going to move right into the, there's nothing under affordable housing. We're going to move right into the buildings and ground safety and security. Mr. Walsh, if you want to start. Make sure the mic's on before you speak.
Good evening, everybody. Had a great workshop meeting. The last meeting before our prior Board of Education meeting with our ad hoc committee members. It was a great collaborative roundtable with our administration, Dr. Garabay, Vince, Marasco, and we basically studied their pressing needs for a district as far as infrastructure. Build-outs, our switchgear room at Conover Road Elementary School, our roofing, discuss what vendors and who would be best suited to whether, update our roofs, make them 100%, no leaks. I believe we have, the majority of the roofs have been upgraded through the DCO and the solar infrastructure project, but we do have a substantial sections of the schools that need to be addressed, the roofs. And we had a couple different vendors that we're looking at. Tremco would be a vendor where we would be restoration instead of a whole replacement. So we're looking at different vendors and who would be best, the best way to go forward, I would say, as far as the roofing, whether it's a full replacement in those sections or just a restoration. And we have some competitive bids that we have received. And Vince, maybe you want to add some?
Yep, exactly. We're going through that process to first get a sense of what the one vendor's opinion is on the roof, whether our roofs are even a candidate for restoration. And then we'll go from there, and we'll be able to, from that meeting, which we anticipate having next week, we'll be able to see how much of an area is, in need of full restoration and one of the solutions that we've talked about, or, a solution to replace it.
I want to add Nick Moretto is there, our facilities manager. Thank God, we have a great guy there, really taking care of our school and looking at to do the best he can for our schools as far as making our facilities superlative and looking at cost factors. And I value his input as chair of the Building and Grounds, and I'm sure I probably speak for the whole board. He's very honest, very straightforward, and I really value his recommendation as chair, and I'm sure Vince and Dr. Garabay as well. So I'm going to take his recommendations seriously as far as what vendors we're going to select and make recommendations to the full board. Our pressing need really is our biggest thing that we have coming up is a switchgear replacement at Conover Road Elementary School. It's 1967, I believe. It's outdated, it's falling apart. So we're looking at one particular vendor that Nicholas and Vince and the board, we came to agreement on, which is FVHD. And we're looking at them because they replaced our switchgear room at Cedar Drive Middle School in 2021. The proposed cost for this replacement is about $1 million. This is their lane, building switchgear room. It's a major
Just to
upgrade.
clarify, sorry to interrupt, but they are the professional architects / engineers
Would oversee
who are
the project.
going to oversee the project, who are going to submit the application to the state, who are going to oversee the bidding specifications and the bidding process. Then a vendor to construct
Okay.
and replace will be selected
Well,
and
I
approved.
got that wrong.
No.
At least the FVHD is
Just
the one we're
clarifying.
probably going to go with.
Correctly,
At least
that's
we're
all.
making a recommendation to the board to
Right.
approve. And we really dove into the details as far as the cost. And we want to be on track to get this approved and replaced in a year timetable, I believe, like June of 2026.
Roughly, that's the goal,
It's a big,
yes.
big project. It needs to support all the upgrades we have as far as the building management system and the solar project. And if you took a look at the pictures that Vince shared, it's really, literally falling apart. While I'm on building and grounds, we did a paving at Cedar Drive Middle School. Looks fantastic. And that was a cooperative agreement with Monmouth County Transportation, I believe.
Just,
Department of Transportation,
well, just
or
the,
Monmouth County, freeholders,
Yeah.
commissioners. So we saved a lot of money with partnering with them, and the school looks great. I think I covered most of the topics. Another big thing for me is safety part of building and ground safety and security is my recommendation, strong recommendation, to have cameras on all our buses, stop cameras. When the stop sign's deployed, camera's going to be operational and record any cars that are passing stop school buses. Proposal.
That's something we're going to be adding. We don't have that
We
yet,
don't
right? I just want
presently
to make
have
sure.
it in any of our buses. If,
Okay.
God forbid, a car
Yes.
goes past.
Mhm.
One, we capture it right away. We can use that, share with our police department
Right.
to prosecute that
So we're going to
offender.
be purchasing that
Yeah, the
within the
bid
next,
is
hopefully, a
about,
few months?
the bid is, the proposal is for about 20,000.
Okay.
And that 20,000 would supply cameras to not only the school buses, the big buses, but also the vans to support transportation vehicles. So
Great.
I'm making a recommendation to the board that we don't wait. School's starting tomorrow, let's get those cameras installed in the buses. I'm open to, if you guys want to discuss this, or
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to let the community know, if they didn't receive the email today, that the school district, along with the Colts Township Police Department, did send out a message about bus stop safety. So please make sure you read it, make sure you're cognizant of stopping behind the school buses. I'm kind of just repeating what Mr. Walsh said, and knowing that we will be voting, most likely yes, I'm going to assume yes, on these safety cameras. I know I will be. So just make smart decisions and protect our children.
I want to give credit to Nicole Risco, I pronounce her last name, our transportation coordinator. She's spent a lot of time gathering research, looking at different vendors, and she's recommending as transportation coordinator that vendor. I believe it's on the agenda for discussion at stop cameras, but no vote. Am I correct?
Right. It doesn't necessarily have to be. We're just going to be moving forward. We'll keep the board informed, where we are in the processing
I
and
just want
purchasing
to,
of it. Yeah.
just go over, the meeting itself was great. It was back and forth, everybody put their input, suggestions, pro or con. I was very happy with the meeting. I definitely want to have future meetings, discuss any projects that we're maybe implementing in our district. So kudos to administration and our board members.
I want to second that. I was in that meeting with Mr. Walsh, and thank you, Dr. Garabay, and thank you, Mr. Marasco, for facilitating that meeting. One thing about the switch gears is that it's a lead time. It doesn't take a year to build it. It takes a year to get on their schedule. So,
Oh, that's what I was gonna
we're
ask.
entertaining opportunities and bids, and as Mr. Marasco said, to even get on their schedule so that it can be done at the right period of time. We have limited timelines, so we can do it. It's largely summer related, so we have to act now for the
Yeah,
future.
right.
And to Mr. Walsh's point, we are 60 years with these, you know, basically it goes way back. We're way
Put that
past
into like the New
light.
Jersey Museum when we're done or something? Like, that's a
So
long time.
It's long overdue, but we're also being very proactive in planning for a year. We're not waiting and then kicking it back another year. And as it relates to the school bus cameras, we're not alone. There are a lot of videos out there from some very angry parents and administrative staff and teachers about this, and there have been too many accidents, so this is a proactive measure for our community. It's money very well spent in this space, and hopefully that word will get out there that, hey, there are cameras here, there are repercussions for violating a very real law.
Yep.
God forbid we have any injury or fatality in this situation. So this is why we are being proactive and stand behind this effort, and we want to communicate this great work because it means a lot to our children.
Yeah,
Kevin.
agreed.
I just want to go over one last point, fee schedules we need to look at as a board. We need to update them. We spent a lot of money upgrading all our schools.
Fee schedules.
Fee schedules for people that come in and rent our gym, sports association, groups. We need to collect some money, all the money we're spending out,
Yep.
outside organizations, not our kids, obviously. But I need to really consider appropriate fees to reflect our investment.
Yep.
So getting some return for all the upgrades that fit the lights, the floors, the roofs.
That's how to ask our police department too, like we're now have the ability to share that footage, especially from a bus, like publicly, right? So not only, court of public opinion is usually the best, but from a revenue sharing perspective as well, like, that's an 8-point to 12-point ticket, and then it's thousands of dollars if they ever do it, so, we're bringing that revenue to the police station. I'm sure the police would allow us to maybe send some of those funds back to the school.
I found in my police career, you know who's passing these school buses? Moms
Yeah.
that live in our town and have kids.
Oh, thanks for calling everybody out there. And it's not me that's doing that,
I
but.
want to be the person that runs over
Yeah.
a kid getting off a school
That's
bus.
right.
So, listen, I'm just going to be real
Yeah,
about it.
but we'll have access to that footage. It's like a police blotter. Every month you're able to report what, arrests have been made in town. We'll then have the ability to report those videos of those perpetrators. So,
Mr. Walsh, I have a
Thank you.
question. When somebody passes the bus and it's captured, what happens? It goes right to the police department? The bus driver has to, oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's a great question. So what winds up happening is currently right now, you file a complaint if it happens, and it's a visual complaint. And right now, currently in New Jersey, while there's proposals that are out there, we are one state that doesn't require cameras on bus arms, and we don't allow camera footage, or it can't be the sole way that the police can go after someone who has done that. It has to be submitted as evidence as part of a complaint. So that complaint is detailed. You have to have the license plate, the make of the
So
car,
hold
all
on a
the
second.
things.
If the bus driver is the person making the complaint, does the video help in
That's
his
the
complaint?
evidence, correct.
Okay,
It actually
so
is
it could be the
submitted
bus
right now,
driver.
correct.
Okay.
It's submitted as evidence. And I know that there are many transportation coordinators, boards of education, if we wanted to look at it through a lens of advocacy, who are really pushing mandatory cameras. It's not mandatory yet. So I know that there are, for cameras to be added to bus arm cameras for that purpose, because obviously funding is going to be something if you mandate it to be. But that being said, I think it's a good investment for the board because it provides the visible evidence to support the complaint that's currently going to be underway. That will, what our bus drivers already do when it happens. But it is detailed, and it's difficult to actually get because the bus drivers are in the moment of stopping the bus, the safety. We have the internal cameras, but with the external cameras, there's a lot of information required for a complaint in order to be able to capture actuality. police remain extremely responsive and will, go to places and locations, and they do their best to partner with us. But these will greatly aid in our ability to identify vehicles that break the law, quite honestly, break the law.
Absolutely.
Okay,
and-
so
and prosecute.
if I were to, let's just say, go down to Trenton and advocate for this, and it miraculously gets passed, the state would supply money to fund this for every district because it's mandated.
So in a perfect scenario,
Yeah.
that's exactly what would happen.
like a great
That's another great thing to bring to the conversation of it.
Yes.
Because there are, throughout the years, there have been known unfunded mandates and how a district spends their funds, looking at it. But I think we are wise by looking at this in advance of something being mandated, not just because of we want to get ahead of the game, but also because it's the right thing to do for the safety of our students,
absolutely, yeah.
and letting we are being diligent about it, and we want to keep our students safe when they're on the roads. It's a very vulnerable time, and that's why we worked years ago to put that letter together, and thank you, Mrs. Cameron, for calling it out as an important letter, and it'll be posted on our social media, and just reminding people there is a heavy penalty, which can include
it's huge.
jail time if needed. So I think that's something that we take very seriously, and what happens to the person who breaks the law is far less serious than what could potentially happen to a student in that moment. So I think that that's the most primary concern of ours, and we cannot emphasize and stress the importance of our buses being on the roads, paying attention to yellows. Yellows means it's slowing down, red means it's stopped. And when a bus is stopped in red, it means a child is moving around. So we are encouraging everyone in Colts to share that message very loudly and clearly with regards to us actively and aggressively pursuing anyone who breaks that law.
To the fullest extent.
Question.
But I think, is it retroactive? Oh, sorry, Benny. Is it retroactive? Like, let's say from a funding perspective, if the advocacy is approved, could we then, use those funds to retroactively pay for the cameras we put in? Do you know if that's?
So I can give you I would love to say yes, but I will give you a very real scenario. A few years ago, we did CGI mapping of our schools. Right, that was called the mapping, internal mapping. And we did that proactively in partnership with the police department so that we would have accurate mapping and we update digital things that we do for security reasons. And a couple of years later, they came out of a grant, and it specifically said that you could not retroactively do
Nice.
that.
Makes
So
sense.
it depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, sometimes you can go back. It depends on what funding comes out and how it's allocated and what, how they deem it to
Yeah.
be.
Well, because I'd leave that to the finance committee, financing a solution versus cash payment. So if we have the ability to finance it, then you have the ability to pay for it, so.
Correct. So
You guys-
it depends on when
Yeah.
they release it.
All right, cool.
Dr. Garabin.
Thank you.
Don't leave it, it's on.
Sorry, Vinny.
Dr. Garabin did reach out to Lieutenant Caswell and see if there was a grant opportunity, and apparently not.
Yes, he sent it through traffic safety
yet.
to see if there were any opportunities in partnership, and they explored it, and he got back to me pretty quickly with the response that there was nothing known at this time, but they would keep their ears open.
Even the town too, because if you think about the giant increase we all received on our property taxes, there's extra funds.
Well, I think there's always an opportunity to talk about if there's
Yeah.
obviously any kind of fiscal penalties or things like that are
Yeah.
imposed upon people. There's always a conversation that's open for that.
Yeah, we should definitely ask the town too, because it's within their best interest, so. Vinny,
Did I
did you?
leave anything out of that discussion? I think we covered everything, right?
I don't think so.
I have a
Mr.
few
Rugnetta,
questions.
yeah, Mr. Rugnetta wants to,
Well, just so the public knows and everything, will there be cameras in the front and the back of the bus to get better views of both the front and the back of when they're going around, as opposed to seeing them in the back as well too when they're stopped? Supposed to be stopped.
Oh, great question. Right now, the plan is for the stop arm,
Okay.
which has, I do believe it has a 360 on it. So right now, it's not in the process of, right.
Okay, and then also, is it possible to put maybe like a sign or a sticker on the bus to let people know that they are being filmed when the buses stop, as a further deterrent? Because we have stop signs. There's always had stop signs, and that's not a big enough deterrent, unfortunately. So maybe that could be a deterrent as well too. If
Sure.
they know they're being filmed.
Yeah,
So
and we have
they're gonna get in trouble.
notifications and things like that, like just we have here that is being live streamed. We have them in vestibules out there. That is being recorded. So yeah, we would definitely message that a lot too to
Great.
let people know. Absolutely.
Great. Yeah.
okay, great. Anything else? Okay, let's move on now. Nothing under communications. We're going to go right into curriculum. Mrs. Camera.
So before I get to number one, I just wanted to let the teachers know that as they begin the 25-26 school year, I want to thank them for their passion, their creativity, their dedication they bring into the classrooms each and every day. And your commitment to our students' growth continues to inspire us. And I am excited to support you with new resources and opportunities this year. So wishing all the teachers, the staff, just an inspiring and successful school year. Okay, with that, under curriculum number one, the Envision benchmark assessments as our current practice for the 25-26 school year. So I've given you some information about this before. The SAVIS benchmarks are tests that go along with our SAVIS Envision math program used in grades K through 5. These tests measure how well students are learning the same skills and topics taught in class, following the same order as the curriculum. So the questions are based on state learning standards and are grouped by topic. So the benchmarks are given twice a year in Colts Neck schools. The winter midterm covers topics 1 through 8. The spring final covers topics 1 through 15 or 1 through 16, depending upon how many units. And then the results are entered into the district's data system, which is Linkit, to track our student progress. So again, this is mirroring the scope and sequence of the instruction. And I'm just seeing, I have a lot of notes, so I'm just trying to track them, condense them a little bit. So what's great is, though, let's just say we need additional data points. There are more assessments in the SAVIS program. There, you could do topics 1 through 4, 1 through 12, and then there's also these progressing monitoring assessments. So in my opinion, this kind of further demonstrates why we can move away from map testing, especially the math testing, I should be more specific, because we want to have different data points. So one data point is report cards, last year's report cards. One data point would be our spring NJ SLA scores. And then we have the SAVIS data point. And all we're doing with these data points is assessing which students now qualify for enrichment, which students qualify for Tier 1, which students might need Tier 2 or further interventions. So any comments on item number 1? Yes.
And so we've taken that recommendation, and Dr. Reynolds, and I think we shared with you previously, we're looking at that, and I think it's a conversation we can be having internally and give the board an update on. I think it's not a decision that we can make hastily because NWEA is very much embedded into our data points and processes. It provides independent information on students outside of the curriculum resources. And I know that, if we have it, we should be using it, but you do want multiple points and students to be able to demonstrate their abilities and their assessments on different factors of it. So, I do think the teacher voice is very important to that. Dr. Reynolds and around the district, we were working very closely today where teachers wanted their fingertip reports. Fingertip reports include the information from NWA maps and stuff. So those are the things that they are very accustomed to using and coordinating their groups, all of the things like that. So it is a big decision. It is a large discussion that really we would want to involve our teachers in that point of view so we can put together conversations and move forward. And we're also looking into potentially exploring something else. Maybe there's other things we had mentioned already or something in looking at that. So definitely recommendation, thought process taken, and we are definitely going to be providing the board an update on where we are with things. I know that Dr. Reynolds is planning on going to a couple different districts locally to see what they have in place and visiting those kinds of things. So we'll provide the board with an update on where we are and then bring those recommendations.
And being that we have Linkit also has
Benchmark assessments.
benchmark assessments.
They do. We've used them before in certain areas, and then we've gone, away from them based on teacher feedback, but it's certainly options that we can be exploring.
Right, it just seems, again, to me, if we're spending the money on Linkit and we're spending the money on SAVIS and they have assessments, why then spend additional money on bringing in a new assessment? But I like having, continuing this
Sure,
conversation.
absolutely.
And again, why do we want to test these kids? It's really just to have the right data to make sure they're in the right intervention programs. That's really what it comes down to, or enrichment programs. Anyone else for number 1? Okay, number 2, Tunnel to Towers, the 9/11 Foundation. So again, I want to thank Alan Ryan for really getting this whole conversation started. We're here today with what I'm going to be presenting because of you. So, thank you for kind of bringing this to us. So it starts with, under Dr. Reynolds' leadership, the district purchased 40 copies of the paperback versions of the books. This is right through the website. So the first one, oops, you took it from me. Like, this doesn't look like the K-2 book, is My Buddy's a Hero, and I Didn't Even Know It. So this is the first book in the Discovering Heroes series. So it really parallels what you were talking about. We're looking at it from the lens of heroes, right? Who emerged on this day and we can look up to. So in this book, Grandpa is a retired lieutenant in the fire department of New York City, and he shares his brave account of 9/11 with his grandchildren for the first time. Grandpa helped rescue the last man out alive from the ruins of the World Trade Center. Okay, so again, I think Angelique had mentioned these are developmentally appropriate books for the grade levels that we are giving them out for. Okay. Then we're moving up to, here we go, the next one. Remembering Heroes. Again, the main characters continue a journey to acquire knowledge of the heroes of 9/11 and the importance of remembering them. Students gain deeper meaning of the hero concept as it is presented and expanded through the chapters. Again, it's being reinforced through the use of real people, specifically firefighters from FDNY's Rescue Company 1, who made the ultimate sacrifice on 9/11 at the Twin Towers. Okay. And then you'll see with each book, I'll go into it, there's curriculum and activities to do. Okay, the last book that was purchased is Courage and Tributes, the third book in the Discovering Heroes series. And the main characters continue a journey to acquire knowledge of the heroes of 9/11 and the important tributes to their sacrifice so they will always be remembered. So the book will be distributed in the primary school at the library, each elementary school homeroom, and in the middle school it will be in the ELA or social studies libraries. So this is right from the website that I'm reading. This series of 3 books designed by educators in the 9/11 community is known as the Discovering Heroes book series. According to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, the Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute is offering the age-appropriate nonfiction trilogy, the Discovering Heroes series. The series focus on real events and people who experienced 9/11 to increase awareness of America's darkest day and everyday heroes. The books are intended for kids of all ages, but especially young readers, focusing on 7 to 11. It was designed by educators in the 9/11 community, again, to increase awareness. And the guide includes background for teachers, supplemental social studies lessons, and learning activities, again, that are just age appropriate. Okay. The second part, when I went under the curriculum, there's a free curriculum. It contains videos, again, broken down by age, a lot more videos for the middle school than the lower grades, additional education resources, and it's broken down exactly as the way our schools are. There's a K-2 section, a 3 to 5 section, a 6 to 8 section. And in terms of the last bullet point, the possible guest speaker, Dr. Garibay actually just shared that now, that I didn't even know this, that we're going to be looking for assemblies in November. So that's wonderful and so exciting. And I don't know if Dr. Reynolds, do you want to add anything else or, okay.
We were in communication back and forth, and I think that when the teachers came back and shared with us their plan for what they had already put into place or were anticipating for 9/11 and looking at the schedule for the day, Dr. Rigby called back to me and he said, can we work on something where there's a follow-up? We stress service, a day of service, a day of remembering, all those types of things throughout the middle school program. And so it would be almost like a follow-up type of conversation.
Before Thanksgiving too.
Correct.
Like an American,
correct.
like a gift wrap.
Correct.
And when you were talking about Rescue 1, just a little side note, 12 of those guys went out that day. Not one came home. Every single one of all the rescue companies, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all those guys went. If you look at the tapes, all of them passed. Trying to help people. And they say, that's not a hero.
Okay, and I just want to reiterate what Mr. Scarpa said about Tunnel for Towers, the actual race, and working with the JROTC program. I really love that idea of just kind of building on what we're starting, well, really what the district has already implemented, and now we're just kind of adding on. All right, moving on to number 3. This one is really exciting. The anticipated date for parents to have access to teacher classroom libraries in BookSource. So Conover Road Elementary School and Cedar Drive Middle School will have their classroom libraries posted in each teacher's Google Classroom by Friday, September 26th. This is great for communication, transparency. This is something every one of us up here actually campaigned on, and it's just wonderful to see it being implemented as well. And so thank you. Thank you to the administration for doing this. I know it was a lot of work. I remember your presentation and just scanning. What did you call it originally? Scan and, it was something, it was catchy. Right. Thank you.
Just know that this year, just because the amount of the classroom libraries, the enormous volume, as you know, is classroom libraries, the plan is to work on that for primary school and then have that implemented and available for the fall of 2026. So by, and there's an updating status, so when you get the links for as parents, and you're, take a look, because it is pretty, it's comprehensive, and it does exactly what's there for it, which is letting parents see what books are in our classroom libraries.
Okay, any other comments on number 3?
Yeah, Phyllis, I just want to reiterate for the teacher classroom libraries. I know in the past, parents had reached out to me with questionable books that they were disappointed that we were carrying, but I'm happy after discussions with Dr. Garibay that we do listen to the public on what we feel is appropriate and what's not for a K-8 district. So I appreciate you being proactive and removing those books. And this is a fantastic program. So now it's all transparent. You could actually see every single book and, read them yourselves and know exactly what your child is learning about in the K-8 district here. So I want to thank the district for coming, around and, listening to the community. So thank you very much.
As a follow-up to that, just very quickly, in our handbook, we actually did include policy, the process for if there are parents who have questions about different books and the policy for the review of that, and the process that takes place if and when the administration and Board of Education want to revisit whether or not a book should be in circulation. So there is a complete practice policy, and it was linked in our handbook this year to our parents, so they have access to that.
Great, thank you. All right, Mrs. Cameron, next.
All right, number 4 then. All right, 2025, 26 assessments. So the NJSLA, we're starting with the adaptive field test in October of 2025. So the purpose is to try out this new adaptive questions and technology. The field tests are intended to sample and evaluate various types of test items for future potential use, and to provide educators and students with an opportunity to just become familiar with the assessments and their administration. So the fall results, they're not scored. No scores are reported. It's just a practice for schools and really the system itself. And it's a sampling of items. It's not a complete test for any subject. So it's not being used to measure student achievement the fall. Students will see different questions because the test is adaptive. So if they're getting questions right, it's supposed to be getting more difficult. And if they're not doing as well, the questions are supposed to be getting easier. That's the idea. Now this year, in May of 2026, this will be the new test. So it will be a little bit harder now to compare last year's NJSLA scores with this year's because it's a totally new format. So we just want to be aware of that when Dr. Reynolds is presenting that down the road. So what's really new again is the test adjusts to each student's level in real time. Why? It's the state's saying you're going to get more precise results, a shorter testing time, and less test fatigue, which all sounds very positive. And in May, the students will receive the reports, the score reports. Okay. Any other comments on number 4? Oh, there's one other part for number 4. Do you want to talk about this? Anything about the NJSLA?
Go ahead. You're here.
And just with the October the field test, we have to do that. So, and I also, as a district, we don't know how long that will take yet, but that will be in my assessment letter that is required to be sent out by October. So we'll have general kind of like markings on the assessment calendar for when that will be, and then when we get more specific dates, hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll be able to put that in there, and then we'll be able to share the assessment calendar out. We're kind of waiting right now until we have definite dates and how long the field test will be, how many days.
I have a question.
Yes.
These adaptive tests administered by the state, does it help the other tests, the students? These
Which
questions
other?
Aid in the NJSLA?
Which other?
Adaptive tests are where they're going to be given to the students.
Yep.
Those test questions, do they help the students prepare in any way for the other tests we administer in the district?
Yeah, I think so, because it makes it not as difficult, right? So if you're doing really well, you're going to get, as Mrs. Cameron was saying, you're going to get questions that are in that will be a little bit harder for you. You're going to feel successful. If you're struggling, it will be easier for you. So it's going to make it not as difficult. So as a student, their anxiety and how they feel about taking a test, it will be a little bit easier for them. And we do the MAP assessment that we take right now, it actually is adaptive, so it does do that. But as Mrs. Camera said, we probably won't be able to compare our data from when we do the data presentation. We probably won't be able to compare that.
See a lot of similar questions?
I have no idea. I'll let you know after we take the field
Stay
test.
tuned. Stay tuned.
I'll let you know. I don't know if that.
So the state hasn't released
Least
much
anything.
information to
No.
anyone on this yet.
Well, that's my question.
No.
When they say we have to do it, what does that mean?
So that means every district is required to take the field test to make sure that our infrastructure can take the test. It's called proctor caching, where you download the assessment to make sure our devices are up to date, our devices can load. We have to put an app on there so it opens up. So it's like a really big test for us and for the state to make sure that their product works.
And how-
It's a
does
new
this
company
cost
now.
us extra money?
No.
No.
So
It's a new company. So it used to be
Yeah.
through Pearson, and now it's through a company called CAIM or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, CII. Yeah. I don't know. I'll
So
let
when
you
you
know.
ask about the
I don't know what it
have
looks
to,
like.
I'll address the have to, because Dr. Reynolds is
Yeah.
the compliance.
Yeah,
person.
well,
I'm
that's
just,
what I mean,
The
yeah.
have
Yeah.
I
to is
want
always
the,
is a sense where the state law gives the authority to the Department of Education to dictate and mandate what happens in school districts.
Yeah.
State testing is a required field, right? Where there are, as you know, there are parent refusals, but there is no opt-out. That is the curriculum for the
Yeah.
day. So it is part of the monitoring process for the state. It ties back to federal funding that
Yeah.
is a requirement. So when it is imposed upon us as a field test, the way we receive the information, Mrs. Cameron's 100% right, very limited. It was like, oh, by the way, you're getting a field test in October. We'll give you
Yeah.
more information. So Dr. Reynolds we are still waiting as to what this whole thing is going to look like. And then the fact that it's changing over in the year. So we are very interested in it, going back to actually what Mr. Walsh said as well, in saying, is it a better test? Because there
would
are
like to think
elements
so.
of it. We would like to think so. We would like to hope so. We would like to hope that the state is listening when we share our concerns
Yeah.
about NJLA.
We do take a survey at the end of the assessment. We give
do.
our feedback. So
Yeah.
I don't
We
know
do.
if this is because of that.
It could be.
But think
will
about it,
never
like I get it, right? Like it makes sense where adaptive things are great, like Amazon pricing's adaptive, but why would we make things easier for kids?
I think if I were, and this is Mary Jane Garrity speaking off,
Yeah.
just off in my opinion, in my personal opinion.
Sure.
I don't know if the state is also trying to assist and know that adaptive testing is a good way to progress monitor students, right? You're meeting them where they are and then being able to prescribe an active academic program for what best
Yeah.
suits their needs and how they need to grow in comparison to their chronological peers or expected grade level standards by the end of the school year.
Well, because
Right.
let's take the common sense approach, right? Common sense, and again, this is my own personal view, but we're struggling with like just test scores in general, right? Just as a state, right? So what do you think is going to happen if we make it easier? Then the test results are going to go up, and then everyone's going to be grandstanding about how, oh wow, look at the New Jersey state test scores overall are being so much more successful, and students are doing so much better. But that's fake data because we've made questions easier for children.
But even
think-
in the prior NJSLA, not every student gets the same question either.
Yeah.
So then they're compared on standards and levels of questions with
Sure.
everyone. So I'm hoping that it also does that as
Yeah.
well. But I
It's
don't. we have
manipulation
no
of
idea.
data just to say like, well, and think about, I hate to bring up like negotiations and things like that. But when you, now we're giving the state the ability to manipulate test scores and manipulate data and have the ability to then now present and say, well, listen, we've done great accomplishments over the last years, and our test results have changed from a, XYZ to an ABC. Look at this progressive growth that we have. So my red flag is to alert everyone that if we see from 2 years, and everyone is grandstanding about what a great increase the state of New Jersey has seen, it's what we call dirty data in the data technology world. So just my own 2 cents to be aware of.
From that adaptive piece, though, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're trying to support districts that don't have adaptive
Yeah.
things in place, where they're not, they don't
Yep.
have like a map or whatever the case may be that are adaptive in nature.
Right,
But
Lincoln's
that's-
not adaptive.
Yeah, Linkit is not adaptive. It's a
No.
data warehouse and the benchmarks, but it doesn't adapt to meet them where they are for action
assessment
planning and
doesn't,
academic
no.
programs. But that said, we already have data that tells you where if a student's, remember how it's reported out, it's like not meeting, exceeding, approaching, those are the levels of achievement that are
Sure.
in there. So I don't know where we are anxious to find out what is their plan for reporting out,
Yeah.
how the results come out, or is it going to be that they still maintain that standard and they're still able to predict based on the type of question, the leveling of the question, as to whether or not, you have this many meeting or exceeding still, are those still going to be this? And the majority of questions that were answered were in this realm. So I don't, if they're planning on implementing it this quickly, I don't anticipate it being that different as opposed to kids remaining, to your point, and scoring, but you scored this high in the approaching level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it may be something, and if it's that.
So hopefully there's a more detailed science behind it. Yeah.
Correct. So
Yes.
wait and see, and be really
I
optimistic
think
on the State
as
Department of
as
Education.
educators though, like what do you like your best friend as an educator is time, right? Like you need the time to be able to digest things, learn things before you distribute all that knowledge to our children. And why would they tie your hands behind your back and wait till the last minute and go, okay, have fun with your field test?
An excellent question, Mr. Scales.
I'm just curious.
I don't have.
We don't know.
We're not going to have an answer for tonight, so Mrs. Camera,
Just curious though, yeah.
if you could resume
I digress.
the next
Okay,
bullet point.
So the other assessment that I'm going to present today is the timeline for Fontes and Pinnell, which is our reading levels. So the district is looking into assessing students twice a year instead of 3 times, and I'm a proponent of that. Our current reading program, Being a Reader, uses phonics assessments for our K-2 to place students appropriately in the sets, the small group instruction. And the Fontes and Pinnell assessments, they don't align with our current program. So we really want to now, well, what am I looking at? Sorry. So we're just going to move to 2 of these a year, and kind of piggybacking on all these new assessments. I love this idea because it keeps students from being over-tested.
Right.
It aligns better with the Being a Reader. It
Yep.
frees up more instructional time. I
Yep.
couldn't see any negatives with this one, and it just ensures our assessments, again, are being meaningful and targeted. So I love this idea.
Great, so that will also be reflected in the assessment calendar once I can include more information with our adaptive new NJSLA. But just so you know, you won't see those coming home in the beginning of the year. That will be assessed in the winter and the spring, and we're looking to start to phase that out possibly. Okay,
And any questions on 4?
and we had our trainer here again today so it was great.
All right,
for
and the
that.
last thing is Dr. Reynolds will be presenting on October 15th, the 2025 assessment results presentation. So per my request, she's going to share the presentation with us ahead of time so that we can review it, we can give feedback, any questions we have, and that way the presentation, can be a little bit shorter.
Yep.
She can be prepared for the questions, and I guess we'll be,
And-
the district will be providing the student reports and scores. They'll be
Yes.
uploaded in Genesis. And Dr. Reynolds will notify parents via email when the 2025 NJSLA scores have been released and are available.
Yep,
So,
perfect.
it's very
And
exciting
that
for many
spring
parents.
presentation will include NJSLA, the DLM, and the WIDA assessment. And so we'll keep that nice and short, but we'll send it to you, and then you can answer any questions, and we'll keep it a little bit condensed for you.
Great, that's
Okay.
wonderful news.
I can go on for hours about
Yes, I
data.
know. And believe me, I listen, I definitely don't want to cut anybody's voice short, but sometimes, the meetings are excessive.
There's mandatory things
so-
that I have to
Yes,
report on.
that's fine,
That
yeah.
are required. So those will
Yeah.
all be in there, but we'll
Yeah.
keep out the extra.
Okay,
All right.
excellent,
All right,
excellent.
any other
news.
questions for Dr. Reynolds or myself, but she's here, so might as well direct them to her. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for staying late tonight
very
and coming tonight. We
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Okay, we're going to move right into finance. I know we covered some of this already, so Mr. Marasco, if you want to,
I can take it if you want. 'Cause
oh, I'm sorry, Dr.
No, we
Garabay,
did
yeah.
it in tandem together,
Okay.
but Mr. Walsh actually already covered it. We just put these on for the board to review, can bring it through Mr. Walsh if we're going to be meeting together in a small group. I know that Mr. Marasco and Mr. Moretta are going to be putting together some information about current costs that we're looking at. It is time to update our use of facilities for every reason that Mr. Walsh already mentioned with regard to costs that we are outlaying. And based on our fee schedule, the different groups, categories of organizations that use our facilities free of charge. So I think that that's something that we really need to evaluate. Free is difficult these days, especially when we just did a massive ESIP, and the energy savings that we predict is based on just that, energy savings and non-use of the buildings. So we do have to evaluate as a board, passing along some of the additional costs that are not factored into our ESIP savings into our use of facilities fees. So that would be something from a timing perspective, going back on to what we've talked about. The timing of that is important because we operate on the fiscal year. Many of the organizations or others work on a calendar year. So if we're going to be revising, we may want to do this in a timely way, have things in place by January or February at the latest. So if they are in fees and organizations such as Sports Foundation, Recreation are using or want to be using our facilities, and that is a group, I'm just using them as an example, I'm not saying it's definitive. For example, if that is a group we're going to want to give them plenty of notification for that, however they're choosing to, provide us with the fee structures of those things in return, how they want to accommodate that.
Dr. Garabay, so the facility use fee schedule, I'm just looking at these three pieces. I'm going to assume that might be the easiest one to change with policy and regulation. Is it difficult to change 7510 to reflect the fee schedule?
So 7510 is basically, it's linked in the regulation. So the regulation outlines the actual categories, the classes, I guess you would say, of different groups. And the fee schedule is actually something that is separate, but actually referred to, in the regulation and policy in accordance with the fee schedule. So the fee schedule is actually one of the easiest ones. Remember in the background that Mr. Scales and I are still working on all the transfer of the policies over.
that's what I
So
was trying to get
the
at.
fee schedule, I am really optimistic we'll have all of those done before December, but in the event of the interim and for the work right in front of us, the fee schedule is the easier one because the actual fees themselves are not populated within the policy or the regulation.
Fair enough. So it's safe to say that the policy and regulation can speak to this fee schedule, and we have the ability to adjust the fee schedule to reflect
Correct.
our time and use of facilities.
Correct.
Fair
Correct.
enough. Okay. And then the timing, you said you want this in place by January 1, but like I saw this here, we do need time to digest this and go over some of the anticipated uses of our facilities because this
Correct.
is our opportunity to
Correct.
bank on it when possible.
Correct.
So
I would think January, February would be an ideal time to adopt if we're making changes, and I obviously will, take your recommendation as well, that I think that it's an appropriate time just because if we're using facilities moving forward and they operate on a calendar year, we do have organizations that come in the spring that want to use the facilities. We have summer programs that want to use the facilities. So it really is a perfect time for us to be giving them, even if we are going through this endeavor and we think there's going to, even for Mr. Marasco to reach out to put some of our regular users on notice that they will be seeing adjustments. You know how we all got those notices via email online when, things were going to be going up recently, that we got those notifications. We may want to put some of the people that we know that the board is reevaluating its fee schedules, and they may see fees for things that may not have been.
okay, so there's no, even if we have a use of the facility right now on an old schedule, they can come back and say we're grandfathered into an old schedule. They have to adapt to a new schedule. effective
Sure,
as of a
sure,
particular date.
absolutely, sure. We remember too, the timing, and the reason why I said January was because we annually at the organization meeting, we adopt all of our policies and regulations. It's part of and so if we have this in place and it's going forward and it's readopted, ideally at the reorganization meeting, which is that first meeting in January, that could be a sign, that could be a goal that we're looking for. If it happens after the fact, I don't think it'll be detrimental to our process.
We did ask Nicholas Moretta to survey other pricing? What are they charging for facilities?
Is that what this is? Class E is what his research was? On the document that you put it on here?
Go ahead. Do you wanna-
The Schedule A?
No, that's not specifically what Mr.
All of them.
Moret.
Oh, it's just what we
It's
have
just-
currently.
It's just a class of.
Oh, gotcha, okay. Say 2,000 for our gym
the
without bleachers.
general
Let's get that going.
classification of groups that will.
Let's pump that up a little bit.
Other than the Colts Neck Sports Foundation,
It's cheap, right?
are other, I guess, groups using our spaces? Okay, so the idea wouldn't be to increase it for the Colts Neck Sport Foundation, right? Because then it would really just, then they would just have to raise their fees, right? I'm assuming that's not what we want to do. We would want to raise
Well, it looks
just
like
outside groups?
almost every like, as I'm taking this document, Class A, B, C, and D are almost anything public we're not charging for. Class E, it looks like it's more private, right? So if a private institution wants to
So
use our
it's
facility.
everything is on the
Okay.
board, I mean, everything can be converted, and I think it's of
Yeah.
whatever the board's discretion is, because whether they're public entities or not, they're still using things that are at a cost to the Board of Education.
Yeah,
So I think that might be just something we
Oh, I
want to
see.
bring to the conversation, so regardless of whether it's a sports
Mm-hmm.
foundation or, and you're absolutely correct, they'll navigate the fees of what we're going to do.
Right to the parents, so.
Correct, so I think we'll want to be mindful of those conversations and what the
Totally.
board wants to do in relation to what the anticipated monthly spendings will be to the board in addition to and outside of the set predicted savings.
We'll have a common sense
Yeah.
approach, especially for geared clubs and
Right,
organizations.
right, like our
in
Colts Neck
town.
groups,
Right,
absolutely. I
right.
would think we
Yeah.
would want to, give them
try to help
the
them as
best
much
deal
as
possible, that's
Not gonna
fair.
give away the house, though.
No, I mean, they're having fundraisers, to raise money for dues and for fields and things like that. So, I mean, you have to keep all that into consideration, so, cool. Well, that was a
Okay,
thorough explanation. Thank
Anything
you.
else on finance? Anything else? All right, we're going to move right into policy. Mr. Scales.
Yeah, just want to thank Dr. Garabay. The policy that we're drafting here, this is administration of medication. So what this is stemming from is New Jersey State's, let's say the alert that we have to adopt a sunscreen and sun protection for New Jersey students policy, right? So do you want to provide some color on what you did in order to add this? Because I think this is a very intelligent view, and then once you share that view, I would like to highlight something for the board.
Sure.
So,
So we received notice in June, I think, June 4th, that by September, we had to have, in accordance with Public Law 2025 C-38, they're requiring all local education agencies to adopt policies concerning student use of sunscreen and sun protective clothing at school and school-sponsored functions. It takes effect at the start of, while there's no date, we're still within compliance because it's the start of the 25-26 school year. And then it gives you the statutory requirements for that. So knowing that we are in transition for the policy committee, rather than going back to our former provider, I looked at what school boards was recommendation, and and I monitored that throughout the summer. And then I also reached out to our school nurses and whatnot when I had a definitive direction from what school board policies was saying. And they took the approach of looking at it through administration of medication, and rather than creating a whole new policy for it, they added it as the bold language that appears under our current policy that we already have for the use of it, that just basically says, as it's stated, student sunscreen protection is encouraged and it should be applied to students at home prior to coming to school, and all the language that are the requirements
State's
set forth that the state
requirement.
says.
Yeah.
What I did then in turn was also made contact, and they were gracious enough during the summer. Our 3 school nurses also provided their input on it because it is a policy that guides their practice as well as our administration. So they are making recommendations, the nurses, that sunscreen staff shall not be responsible for applying sunscreen. They can encourage it and help facilitate, but staff shall not apply it. And that they are also requesting that aerosol sprays we not use aerosol spray cans.
yeah, you don't want
For that purpose, for a
aerosol,
variety of reasons.
all
So
that
we don't want
jazz.
aerosol sunscreen, right, exactly. And creating, potential slippery hazardous condition for a multitude of reasons. Those were the 2 pieces, that one line that's
Yeah.
in there, that they recommended, the documentation isn't required. I know that some districts districts are putting in. This fulfills the requirement for us to
Correct.
do this, for that, as for the state, to make us in compliance of the language that is.
Well, it's a very intelligent approach because the state is now looking at sunscreen as a medication. Well, let me highlight something for you. Ready? Are you ready for this? Let me read something to you because I'm not going to tell you my view
Where's
until
the beaches in the back?
I want
backyard of
your
schools?
I want
What are the
your
high
thought
sunbathing
process.
these kids doing
Yeah.
out there?
So let me read a line from what the state is asking us to do, right? So the local education board may require written permission from a student's parent or guardian to allow a student to carry or use sunscreen at school. This requirement may be aligned with a specific age or grade level. So reading that, right, you now need parental permission for them to use sunscreen and carry sunscreen. What in our district in New Jersey State has the state said you do not need parental consent and permission for? Let's play a little game before I give you the answer.
Transing our children.
Correct. So the state of New Jersey looks at sunscreen as you need written permission, but in order to a transition of your child, they do not require that your parent is consenting to the use of different pronouns used in the school. So I just wanted to highlight that because that is one of the most egregious things I've seen from a policy perspective. So keep that in your back pocket
State
as
believes
we.
they know when a child needs to change
Correct.
their gender, but they don't know when they need to wear sunscreen.
Correct. We
Mr.
cannot
Scales,
vote.
for my edification,
Yeah.
what is the genesis behind it? Because I'm a very simple
Yeah.
question. Where did this come from? Because it's mind-boggling the way it's.
It is. Well, it's, so again, like when the state's view on this, I think, is again intelligent, right? We're taking into consideration any sort of there's a lot of religious requirements, right, that children do not apply because for religious reasons they don't apply sunscreen. They're not allowed to, right? So what they're doing is they're allowing religious freedom. They're allowing medical freedom. They're allowing the parental rights, parental consent and freedom of sunscreen. Now, granted, sunscreen, you are the parent of your child. You do have the right, as you see in the parental rights as well, too, of the administering of medication to your child at school, right? So they have the right. They're continuing to use that right in order to apply this. So it's merely for safety concerns and to make sure that we're taking the onus off of the teachers and the administration for their need to touch a child and apply sunscreen. So
Stupid mandate.
the intelligence of Dr. Garibay and the team is, again, make sure that that's applied at school. And if you want your child to carry a bottle of sunscreen with them at school, we just need your consent to let them apply that. But so again, this is the common sense of, and you think of the balanced scales of justice in my name, if you will. It's not. It's unbalanced, right? So just wanted to highlight that. Any questions, comments, concerns of this policy? Again, my view is that and you have taken a request from the state, and we have involved everyone in the district in this decision before we're applying this. So thank you for doing that.
I support your frustration, Mr. Walsh, but the state of New Jersey has done plenty of stupid things in the past 8 years, so we could add this one to it. All right, moving on to parental
So-
Bill of Rights.
I'm sorry, is everyone okay with us moving forward
Yeah,
for first read on the 17th?
Yes,
Okay, perfect.
yes.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about it, let me know. There's some weird. Read both. Read attachment 1 and 2, because you'll see what the state asked us to do, and so I digress. Okay, parental bill of rights. So we received a legal opinion that we sent out to the board. Any questions? Any comments, concerns on that legal opinion? I subsequently sent my. What's that? Sorry. For the.
Bill of Rights.
Yeah, okay, so never mind. We've presented that to you for you to review. Please hold your comments and questions for executive session.
Okay, we're going to, move it along at this time if we're done with the
Are we
policy
not allowed to,
section.
just a request, are we not allowed to share a political opinion with the public? A legal opinion, I'm sorry?
No, not the legal opinion. The legal opinion is saved for
Gotcha.
just the
curious.
discretion of us during executive session.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's considered client attorney privilege.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Nothing under negotiations. The transportation portion, we already discussed pretty lengthy about the stop arm camera, so I think we could move forward, correct? We don't need to revisit that. Okay, we're going to move forward right into the personnel. It's got 3 items there.
Those are FYIs for the 9/17/25, just heads up that these things are coming, as well as anything else that may come out will be presented in the updates leading into the 17th.
Great. Just a quick question on the chaperones. What is the chaperones for?
It is a chaperone
Oh, okay.
for, if I remember correctly, actually, I can look that, but it is a chaperone for an event. I want to say it may have been for the orientation, new student orientation. It may be a retroactive of things that
Okay.
are happening that we require.
I have a question. This just came to mind since I saw chaperone. Years ago, Mr. Walsh had mentioned about how the district did a class trip to Washington, D.C. I'm not sure why, we ended that. I'm curious, to hear the feedback on why that was ended and if it's possible to reinstate that class trip for the 8th graders and what that would entail. I'm not sure if that should be a new business, but if we could do like a brief answer on that. Is that okay? To do it now, or do I have to? Okay.
It's fine. We can
Yeah.
do it either way.
Yeah,
but
let's
it's
do it
fine.
now. This way we can move it along to executive session.
So the trip to Washington DC was pre-May. So I would have to do some research as to when and why it was stopped,
Okay.
from that sense, from that
Oh,
point of
okay.
view.
All right.
So once I have that information, I can bring it to the board and certainly look at it. I know we go to Stokes now.
A lot of those trips, and
Oh, yeah.
chaperone this board member.
I was there. I was there, and he was there,
He's your chaperone.
and I got in trouble the whole trip. But
That's hysterical. So,
It was
Mr.
great.
Walsh
Shocked by that.
chaperones your 8th grade trip.
great times, man.
That's
great
hysterical.
times.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
So bring it back.
We're gonna save your comments
Yeah.
for public comment, okay? Just so we can
All right,
finish.
I want to add a comment to that because I have a Washington trip memory.
Okay, yeah,
nice.
you can. We're just about to close
Nothing
now, but,
bad, it's all good, it's all good.
yeah.
So, but we can certainly bring it back to another cow
I
discussion.
mean, they probably
Okay.
discontinued it because of the safety concerns.
To the view.
Or the financial,
Washington D.C. Now
Safest
Washington
city
is
in
safe
America.
again, thanks to Kevin's boss, and
Yeah.
maybe we can revisit the kids going back now.
Thank you, Mr.
all right, so
Thank you
we'll,
for doing
we'll
some
move on,
research.
we'll move on with that. Let's open the floor. I know Mr. Ryan has, an additional comment. If you want to come up real briefly and add to the meeting, that would be great.
I had the pleasure of going on the 8th grade trip with my, I had the.
Oh, you gotta put the button on.
Just hit the button.
How have you-
Oh, almost. There it is.
Oh, green.
Green means
Okay.
go.
Green means go.
Yeah.
Green, okay. I had the pleasure of being on my son's 8th grade trip with Officer Walsh at the time, Officer Goodspeed.
Wow, we didn't know that.
I can tell you this, you guys should bring it back. You as parents, if you get a chance to chaperone it, go.
I would love to,
I had the
yes.
best time with my son and his classmates, and Officer Walsh and Officer Goodspeed. We had a lot of laughs. Everything was beautiful. Take it, it's a precious memory.
Amazing.
Because when you're having those lousy days, you can think back, look back on the phone or however you have the pictures, and it's a sweet memory, absolutely. Bring it back.
Yeah,
Bring it
we would
back.
love to.
Get
We
the
were talking
parents
about it the
involved.
other day, so.
It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun, it really was, a lot of fun. So
All
bring
right.
it back, just my 2 cents.
Great. Thank you for participating tonight, Mr. Ryan. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Okay, we are, we are going to close public comment. We're going to open the floor to any new business this evening. If anybody wants to add or discuss something, now is the time to do so.
I have one quick
Yes,
comment.
Mrs. Camera.
I
Yeah.
never added it to curriculum, I had forgotten, and I was been busy setting up my own classroom. But any news with the Sea Cadet program? Any updates for us?
I know that they have a request in to have almost like a presentation or a table available at the Cedar Drive back to school night for parents. So I think that that's something that we're working on to facilitate. And the last time we were in communication with each other was about them trying to identify some of their current Sea Cadets to possibly come after school to facilitate with chaperone, some of the activities that they do with our students. So
This is wonderful.
just
We're
starting
moving
it.
forward. This is so exciting. Wonderful. Thank you.
Of course.
Great, excellent news.
Just
And
one, just
anybody
one
else?
note. Again, I want to thank Mr. Ryan for joining us this evening. This presentation is unique. We do have 2 opportunities to speak, and this board welcomes public feedback. And we really embrace it, and that is how we drive to greater levels of success. So please tell your friends and
Hear, hear.
colleagues about our forum, about the opportunity to come out and speak your opinions and engage the board, because this is why we're here, this is why we were elected. So we really appreciate your time and attention. And I will say, secondly, that most students are very well behaved on these field trips, with the exception of Mr. Rico. So most of the students are very well behaved, so we really embrace these field trips and opportunities. So thank you very much.
It's a great time. We'll have fun.
Great.
Amazing. I have one thing
You
to.
got Mr. Scales wants to
yeah.
add to new business at this time?
And I'll be next, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you want, okay. Yeah,
To
Mr.
bring the
Scales.
room down a little bit. I have some comments to make regarding recent posts and behavior from the new head of the NJEE, Mr. Steve Beatty. I believe that's how you pronounce your name. If anyone had saw the first post from the new president was a clenched fist in the air, in solidarity always. My question to Mr. Beatty is, solidarity for what? The democratic policies that have the NJEA has contributed over $40 million to, is that the solidarity? As a result of these policies, over 400 teachers, the democratic policies, over 400 teachers have lost their job in Monmouth and Ocean County because of democratic policies. The democratic policies that I am referencing is the state of New Jersey's egregious misfunding of our schools, okay? So is that the solidarity that we're fighting against? If you funnel $40 million towards democratic policy and you have these New Jersey Democratic leaders elected, is that the solidarity that you're fighting to? Now, we're all history buffs. I'd like to go down history lane of when a clenched fist in the air was used. Mr. Ryan, you've inspired me today with your use of asking about history, and our children have not forgotten history, right? So I'll just go down some memory lane, if you will. A clenched fist was first used, right, in the air, in solidarity, by the labor movements in the earliest 20th century. It appeared prominently in the socialist, communist, and the workers' groups in Europe, and they used that as a collective power against oppression. The gesture of the counterpoint to the Nazi salute was during the rise of fascism. So, Mr. Scarpa, you're a history buff. Do we have a fascist government at the moment? We do not. So again, a clenched fist is combating fascism, right? You also talked about Aaron Judge, right? And about how he understands that he's not a hero, correct? Right. Heroes that I would say, especially in athletics in the mid 20th century was used as a way to post, your political oppression, right? So the 1968 Olympics in Mexico, it's most famous for American sprinters, track and field, Tommy Smith and John Carlos. They stood at the podium and they used a clenched fist raised in the air because it was during the national anthem and it was a protest against racial injustice that was etched into the global consciousness. So they took it upon themselves, let's use this forum as a way to fight. They had an obvious fight against their hands, and because of that political movement, it helped them, right? The reason I bring this up is because the first article that Mr. Beatty put out, the title of this article, and I'm enraged when I say this, so I apologize. Teachers are under siege, but we still show up for your kids. That's the title. Mrs. Cameron, do you feel like you were under siege at all as a teacher in the state of New Jersey? Okay. Mr. Beatty, your job is to show up for my children. Your job as teachers in the state of New Jersey, regardless of whatever union it is, you show up for work. Okay? You show up for work. It's within the law. It's within your job duties. You are not under siege, and you don't still show up for my kids. You have to show up for my kids, and you will continue to show up for my kids. The reason I bring this up again is because we do not create fake problems and act like we are the heroes. To create a fake problem that doesn't exist in the state of New Jersey and to try to act like a hero that you have a clenched fist in the air that our teachers are under siege. You are not under siege, and those comments will not be tolerated. I made a comment to the NGA EA, and they subsequently made a statement that the headline was probably not correct. So I'm asking them today in the public forum to remove it because it's an egregious and a disgusting comment and a disgusting title to be put on it. So in closing, again, the democratic policies that are funded in the state of New Jersey have removed 400 teachers, as I mentioned before. How many teachers have we removed in New Jersey, in Colts Neck, New Jersey, in the last year?
None.
0. We had a 0% tax increase, dollar-wise and percentage-wise. So my message to all of the unions of New Jersey, especially our Colts Neck union, I am not anti-union. I'm anti-manipulation, lying, and corruption at its core. I am here to protect our Colts Neck union, which I truly believe is one of the best unions that we have in the state of New Jersey, against our government of New Jersey and the NJEA. So I appreciate you indulging me in my comments. If you have any other comments or concerns, you can send them my way. So thank you for letting me use this public forum.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yes, Mr. Agnetta, if you want to add to that.
Yes, I'd like to thank Alan Ryan for coming out tonight. I appreciate we've been friends for a while, and bringing, adding this new materials to helping add it to our curriculum. Thank you so much. It's something that needs to be taught, so thank you so much. And I want to piggyback on that. This upcoming year being our 250th anniversary of our country, I think we maybe want to look into adding more materials for patriotism, for civics, that talk about our founding, 1776. I know President Trump, when he first came into office, signed Project 1776 executive order. So maybe we can, the curriculum committee, and I'll help out as well too, can look into that, piggyback off that. And to 2021, I believe Florida, they added more of patriotism to their civics programs in school. So maybe we can look into that as well too, maybe add that to our curriculum. And also, there's the actor Richard Dreyfuss, who was in Jaws. It was in theaters this past weekend. I saw it with my son twice. He loved it so much. He wrote a book a few years back called One Thought Scares Me, which is his thought of losing civics in our country, losing civics in our school. He's seen the decline of teaching civics in our school and how when kids go out into the real world, they don't understand the civics that they're given as a right as a citizen. And they don't know how to completely implement that into their daily lives. And we're losing that. We're not teaching it well enough in our school. So maybe that we can look into that, his book as well too. Maybe add his book to a curriculum, added to our libraries for the grades, of course, that it would be more appropriate for as well too. And also another adding for our 250th anniversary of our country, adding to that curriculum also I think would be great. Bringing back, as we said before, the trip to D.C. would be great, especially this year being our 250th anniversary. I know I went to D.C. In my school as well too when I was in 8th grade, and I loved it. I'll remember to this day. So adding those things I think would be great, and of course I'd love to work with the curriculum committee in implementing that, and Dr. Garibay and all of our
I love this idea, and
stakeholders.
I just want to remind the board, I'm sure everyone knows, but in Dr. Garabay's weekly updates, there's a link to the Monmouth County, the 250th commemorative committee. So we can look, we could all kind of read through it a little more carefully and see if there's some books or just other ideas or projects that we could get our students involved in and really make it into a community county sort of collaboration.
Great. That'd be great.
And what we can do, if you'd like, if you'd like, we can bring forward where civics is identified in all of our curricula, and just pinpoint and highlight where it already exists, and then we can make decisions moving forward and recommendations for areas to explore further.
Yeah, be great. Thank you.
Anybody else for new business at this time? Okay, Mr. Walsh?
I'd like to
Oops, get your mic on.
have the Board of Ed members here consider removing the technology fee. I think it's ridiculous that parents are charged $50 for a Chromebook. enough is enough. Let's just incorporate it into our budget.
That was one thing John Cameron always talked about as well too, and one thing that we campaigned on as well. I campaigned on the civics as well too. Going back to that, but that'd be great.
So I'd like
Just
take
to-
that up with
The
Finance
$50,
Committee
right?
And explore how we can achieve that. in next
I
year's budget.
agree. There are students that intentionally damage Chromebooks, so maybe instead of a fee we remove the fee, but maybe like some kind of damage, if your child, not the first time, anything could happen, but if there's some kind of pattern though, and we know the child is intentionally breaking the Chromebook, they should have to then, maybe that family have to purchase, fix it, because we don't want that either, where we're just,
Just don't
you know,
think $50
yeah, because
should be
sometimes the
coming
kids
out
will
of a.
purposely take the keys off. I mean, I see this in my own classroom.
Oh.
That's
And then
fine.
other times they accidentally drop one. So, I mean, and the whole screen shatters. So, we have to be, mindful of when there's an accident versus intentional.
I understand completely, but to send your kid to
Yes.
school and my kid didn't pay $50, then what?
No, I agree completely with removing the fee.
Yeah.
I'm in total favor of that. But I just think then there should be a repercussion if there is a student who is,
100%.
okay, great.
Mr. Walsh, I already addressed Dr. Garabay, so we're revisiting that now. So she is going to discuss it. We'll put it on a future agenda and then go from there. So we are, the ball is rolling already on that, okay? Thank you for bringing it up publicly, though. Okay, anybody else for new business? Okay, before I ask for a motion to move to executive session, I just want to wish all of our 1,000-something students tomorrow a fantastic day. 1,018, wow, it was like 1,009 the last time I checked. So 1,018 students. I want to wish you all such a very, very good day. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope your moms are not all crying tomorrow.
Some will be cheering.
Yeah, some will be cheering. I will be crying. But yes, I wish all the families a very good day, and especially our teachers and staff here and the administration. Thank you so much for all you do, and we hope you have a fantastic first day as well.
If I may add some.
Yep, Dr. Garibay, go ahead.
So I want to thank Mrs. Volpe for joining in our staff convocation yesterday. It was truly a great community event. It's a celebration. All 270 staff members there gathered together in one place, and Mrs. Volpe was able there. So thank you for joining us for that.
Yep, thank you for the
I
invitation.
just want to echo, we are so excited for tomorrow. It is one of days I look forward to. Just new faces, new sneakers, new this, everything that everybody brings to the day. It's just a great energy in the day, and our staff are so excited to receive their new students. Communication is key. We always work through our transportation. You also received an email today. We're still making updates to these things. We're encouraging our parents, check your bus stops, everything, just to make sure, because we try to adjust up into the last minute. Schedules, communicate with us if there are any issues. But we're looking forward to a beautiful weather first day of school. Encouraging everyone to take those pictures at home, those first day of school pictures at home, because the drop-off line at primary school gets a little long. We're asking everyone for their patience, but we are anticipating a fabulous start to our 25-26 school year. So thank you to the board for the support, for everything, and thank you to the teachers, administrators, and everyone who helps to make tomorrow a fabulous day as a kickoff for a fabulous year, and wishing, of course, everyone here a great school year as well. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, just to let you know, I'll be making a motion to move into executive session. This is executive session will cover 2 items listed there: confidential student matter, and number 2, confidential legal matter. No action will be taken. We'll probably be in there for about 30 minutes. The live stream will end, and we will not be resuming. So if I could get a motion to move into executive session at this time. All right, Brian Scarpa and Jason. All right.
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to grab a cookie.